Microsoft's E3 is over, their conference is done, their briefing is wrapped up, and I'm going to take you guys through every little point they hit and what I thought about it, and I'm going to give you my final grade. It's not going to be good. Okay, Halo 5, they started off, and they started off by showing the campaign gameplay. In the beginning, it was kind of cinematic set pieces, very Uncharted-esque. It underwhelmed me in the beginning. I got bored. It kind of transitioned finally into some gunplay. It was the four players were kind of in an arena mode, arena area, taking down enemies. It got a little more interesting at that point, caught my attention better. It was looking good graphically, looking good gameplay, looked like a smooth, polished experience. It didn't impress me to the point where like my jaw was dropped or anything. It just looked like a solid showing from Halo. Pretty good there. And then they immediately after that they showed Recore, which is an exclusive Xbox One game, first party franchise that is in development now. But unfortunately, all we got was a CG trailer, which I couldn't care less about. It doesn't do anything for me. I can't actually say anything about this. We didn't have any gameplay, no information. So Recore, don't know, nothing impressive there. And then they dropped a pretty big bomb: Xbox One backwards compatibility. That's big. That is huge. So for those Xbox One owners who have their, 360 library still hanging around, they can start playing it. They can start busting the discs out. He mentioned 100 games this holiday, and then the game support will continue to be added down the line. So that's a pretty nice feature. Then they unveiled the Xbox Elite controller, which looks pretty awesome. It has all kinds of toggles. You can add triggers, add thumbsticks, like adjust the triggers so that it looked to be so that it didn't get pulled as deep when you pull it, so you can kind of fine tune things to your own personal requirements. I think that's pretty cool. I think the Xbox One controller isn't very good in its current state. I think the DualShock 4 just completely destroys the Xbox One controller. So this is good, I think. I think it looks nice. I think they've done a lot of things to tweak the performance of it. I think the actual shape of the controller looked to still be pretty similar, which is kind of a bummer. I was hoping that would be, shape-wise a little different. But it still looks very nice. The Elite controller looks very cool. And then Todd Howard came on stage and started talking about Fallout 4. Basically the same stuff pretty much we saw yesterday from the Bethesda conference. So I was kind of tuning out of that. I've already seen a whole lot of Fallout 4. Fallout 4 looks incredible, amazing. One of the best games I've seen in a long time. I'm there on day one. They announced for Fallout 4 that mods that are made on the PC carry over to the Xbox One. Nah, whatever. That's not really that impressive. And then Peter Moore came on stage, started talking about EA Access. Titanfall is now in the vault, and then Dragon Age is now in the vault, and then EA Vault is free to all gold members for a week. Boring. I mean, the crowd was in like dead silence at that segment. Plants vs. Zombies 2 Garden Warfare got announced. It looks awesome, but it's not exclusive. Multiplat. Forza 6. I was chuckling a little bit. They like dropped a car on stage, and I'm just like, all right. Why are you doing this? It wasn't like anything necessary. I mean, people were just on Twitter and like on the forums just like, what's the point of this? So Forza 6, yeah, solid showing from Forza, but it's Forza. I mean, who really cares except for the hardcore fans at this point? Dark Souls 3 trailer, multiplat. I love me some Dark Souls. I love me some Demon Souls, some Bloodborne. So I'll be picking up Dark Souls 3 on PS4 when it comes out. The Division looks like another solid game, but I mean, we've seen a whole lot of The Division. Xbox One players get an exclusive beta in December. Whoop-de-doo. Rainbow Six Vegas. got a new trailer, and then Vegas 1 and 2 comes free with Rainbow Six Siege for Xbox One. So kind of another whoop-de-doo moment there. Let's see. Then they announced Gigantic, that free-to-play Windows 10 and Xbox One exclusive, beta in August. It looked okay, I guess. Nothing terribly interesting there about that one. Then they showed off their indie reel, and they featured a whole bunch of indie devs that came on stage. First was Tacoma, first on Xbox One PC. They didn't really show much about it. It was a small trailer, but again, it's only first on X1 and PC, so it's a multi-plat. Ashen, an Xbox One console exclusive, looks pretty interesting, but again, just another cinematic trailer. Nothing that really told me, a whole lot what it was about. The next one was, I can't even read my own writing here, Beyond X, I don't even know, Beyond, whatever it was an indie game, first on Xbox One PC. Who cares? It's another multi-plat. Cuphead, Xbox One console exclusive, meaning I'll be playing this on PC. Looks like an amazing indie game, but again, not an Xbox One exclusive. Ion, first in Xbox One and PC. Yet again, another timed indie exclusive that is, going to end up being multi-plat. They announced Xbox Game Preview, where you can buy games still in development. It basically sounds like Steam Greenlight to me, so it's kind of whatever. It's not really that impressive of a feature or anything. Not really like a heavy hitter to me. And then they showed the Tomb Raider gameplay. Oh my gosh, this was boring as fuck. This was horrible. I'm sure some people would have found this interesting, but this was a horrible gameplay segment to show. I mean, this game is trying so hard to be Uncharted. It is trying so hard to be Uncharted. That gameplay segment, it looked like you were actually controlling Laura for like 30% of all that gameplay. It was just set piece bullshit after set piece bullshit, and it was not interesting. It looked really dull. Like, give me Uncharted any day over what they just showed on stage. That was not impressive. And then they showed Rare, the Rare Replay, which is 30 games for $30. That's a pretty awesome collection. I like that. And then they showed Rare's new IP, Sea of Thieves. Gameplay didn't look too hot. I like the art direction in that game, but the gameplay was looking kind of dull. So I wasn't too impressed with that. And then Fable Legends, free to play, Xbox One and Windows 10. Again, not a heavy hitter, just kind of there, for those who want it, but it's no reason to go buy an Xbox One, especially since it's on PC too. And then they showed Minecraft for the HoloLens. Now your conference was bad when Minecraft on the HoloLens was the highlight of your show. This shit looked awesome. Excuse me. It looked awesome. I'm not going to buy a HoloLens. I have no interest in purchasing one. But the tech is undeniably awesome. Just raising up that plateau, that world, and just peeking inside, looking in depth into the world. Awesome. It was really, really cool. Really cool. Highlight of the show, for sure. And then Rod Ferguson came out from the Coalition Studios and announced Gears Remastered. And that's cool. It's another remastered game. For me, I'm a huge Gears of War 1 fan. It's still my favorite Gears of War. I've put hundreds of hours into Gears of War. So this is cool. If I had an Xbox One, I'd be picking it up day one, but it's just Gears Remastered. So, it's not a heavy hitter. There's no reason to go buy an Xbox One. And then they finally debuted Gears of War 4, and ouch, that gameplay wasn't looking too hot there. It was really dark. I couldn't see anything. The frame rate was looking really iffy. It just looked sluggish. It just didn't impress. It didn't impress. Like, it was a lot of walking around, just really boring. The environment wasn't particularly interesting to look at. They were trying to showcase this environment, walking all slow, panning the camera around, but that particular level was pretty plain. When they finally got into that courtyard and, got into battle with those enemies, it just looked dull. Like, where was the awesomeness? Where was the intensity? I don't know. Gears 4 left me wanting a whole lot more. That was a real boring demo. So that was it. That was the end of the conference. And as I stated a week ago in my last video, I had high expectations for Microsoft because this was the time for them to sell people on the console. Did they meet my high expectations? Fuck no. No, they didn't even come close. They didn't even come close. Not even close. This conference was the absolute definition of mediocre. Now, the highlights for me, looking at my list, the Halo 5 campaign looked fun. I can't say anything about Recore because there's no gameplay. I'm not going to buy an Xbox One because, you know, I can play my 360 games. I have my 360. I'm not going to buy it for a new controller. I'm not going to buy it for multiplats, obviously. I don't care about Forza. Tomb Raider is coming out on PS4 later on. Even then, I don't even really care because it did not look like an impressive demo at all. It looked really dull. Rare Replay, I'm not going to be buying a console for a collection of old games. Sea of Thieves wasn't too impressive. Fable Legends is free to play, and Fable has gotten worse and worse with each game, so I can't really care too much there. Obviously not going to buy a HoloLens, and Gears of War is a remaster. I'm not buying a console for a remaster, and Gears of War 4 needs a lot more time in the oven before I'm going to be impressed with that game. So the highlights for me, unfortunately, were the Halo 5 campaign gameplay and the Minecraft on HoloLens. Literally, that was it. That is a bad conference. That's bad. My final grade for the Microsoft E3 2015 briefing would be a 6.0 out of 10, a D-, but since they focused on games and didn't waste our time with bullshit peripherals or TV crap or anything like that, since they didn't waste our time with all that bullshit, I'm bumping it to a 6.5 because I can appreciate that. Still, a solid D is what I'm giving that press conference. Not good, not impressive, did not in any way, shape, or form convince me to buy an Xbox One. In fact, I have even less desire to buy an Xbox One now than I did before the conference. I don't even know how that's possible. That was really stupid, pushing Crackdown, Scalebound, and Quantum Break to Gamescom. Let's hope those games can impress in a few weeks because, wow, I couldn't care any less about the Xbox One right now.